court is in session. Mr. Nerini, how do you plead to the charges of possession of stolen goods?
Not guilty, Your Worship. Absolutely not guilty on all charges. They come into my shop and they say this cable doesn't belong to me. They SMS their friend who says I'm guilty, so they arrest me. They have no proof this cable does not belong to me. This is not justice.
We can prove through a new identification method that the copper cable in Exhibit A, which was found in the possession of Mr. Nerini, was stolen.
I challenge the validity of this new cable identification technique. Various cable identification methods have been attempted before. None of them are admissible in court. I have legal proof of this. The risk of typographical errors during recording causes the method to be unreliable. Close quote.
The prosecution would now like to call its first witness.
With the court's permission, I ask that I present now to you a video evidence of the actual detailing of the insertion and the ID method of this tape with the copper cable. Thank you, Your Worship. As you can see, every 10 centimeters has a unique number that cannot be duplicated. The manufacturer assigns a unique number to the product owner. The start and the end number will appear on every drum and on the drum label. And that number goes only to that product owner.
The prosecution would now like to call its second witness for expert testimony, Mr. Kieran Lieben. Mr. Lieben, will adopting this new verification system eliminate cable theft?
No. To be honest, this will not eliminate cable theft on its own. This is a cable identification system which identifies the rightful owner, and it enables that in the case of a claim of theft, that the rightful owner can in fact lay a charge of theft. The secret is not in the number itself, but in the sequence of the unique ID numbers. Just like every note that we're all familiar with has its own identification number, if you are able to get a sequence of notes from the bank, you would only need to record the two end numbers. And if anybody stole any of the notes in between, you could claim ownership. And that's indeed what we've done with our cable. We've produced a tape which has ID numbers, and they are sequential, and it's a known sequence. We put it into the conductor, the innermost part of the cable, and we then add all the other layers onto it. And during that process, we are not reliant on the discipline of the operator. He can put any tape into any conductor. The conductors can be mixed, so it's not allocated to a customer early in the process. We add all the subsequent layers to it, and when it gets to the test department, we open up the end and we read the start number and the end number. And by knowing the sequence of those numbers, we can allocate the whole family of numbers in between without actually reading each and every one, just like I demonstrated with the money. This product that we've put into the cable provides irrefutable proof of ownership, something that was missing in the past.
Thank you, Mr. Lieben. Your Worship. To demonstrate the simplicity of the verification system, I sent an SMS to the code verification company bearing the unique code inside this very copper cable. I received an SMS back detailing the sale. It details not only the amount sold, but gives a detailed description of the cable sold. So, unless Mr. Nerini had purchased this very cable from Roynet Limited, he would be in possession of stolen goods.
Mr. Nerini, what's your response to that?
Well, Your Worship, impressive as this new technology appears to be, the prosecutor has failed to address the issue of mix-ups, swaps during the manufacturing process.
Prosecution?
If we're producing a few thousand drums per month, there is a high risk of typographical errors. So we've added a barcode to our numbering system. So this eliminates the risk of typographical errors. We take those numbers, and at the time of sale, we add the customer's identification to it. Similar to if your worship had to go and buy a motor vehicle, your name and the engine number would be recorded on the NATA system at the time of your purchase. It wasn't allocated to you at the time of producing the engine or the vehicle, perhaps a year or two before that. Those numbers, together with the rightful owner, get sent on a daily basis to a third-party database. And that third-party database records the owner, all the numbers that are allocated to that owner, together with a description of the cable. This third-party database, it's endorsed by Business Against Crime, the South African Police, Interpol, and in fact a number of the larger insurance industries.
Thank you, Mr. Lieber.
Please continue.
Thank you, Your Worship. The prosecution would now like to recall its first witness, Mr. Grant Patterson.
Thank you. Your Worship, to establish possession, I filmed Mr. Narini actually admitting to owning the copper wire. As you can see.
Here I am back at Mr. Narini's premises, scrap metal dealer, and I've identified the piece of cable that we think has the cable identification in it, which was reported stolen last night, and this is the cable here. I think it found its way to this local scrap dealer run by Mr. Narini. We need to identify exactly what that number is so that we can SMS it through to the cable verification company. And there is the message there. And this SMS from the verification company confirms that this cable belongs to Renat Limited. Here comes the owner of the premises, Mr. Narini.
What's going on here?
A well-known entrepreneur in the area. Is this your cable, sir? Is this your cable?
Of course it's my cable. It's on my property. This is private property, okay? Now I suggest you and your camera get the hell out of here because I'm going to have you arrested.
And as you can see, we also had it on site where the number was used, and we were able to trace the rightful owner of the copper. Thank you.
Mr. Narini, please stand up. Considering all the evidence that has been brought before this court, using the new identification method to distinguish ownership in regards to charges of possession of stolen goods, this court finds you guilty.